Mr. Speaker, sir, reply to start question 61A. A statement relating to the names of villages district-wise that are eligible for opening of main Aganwadi centers and mini Aganwadi centers are as per statement laid on the table of the House. B. A statement relating to the names of villages that have submitted the applications for opening of Aganwadi centers are as per statement laid on the table of the House.
Ma'am, any Dishira, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I know from the Honourable Minister the reason why the villages which are eligible for the Aganwadi centres, be it mini or main Aganwadi centres, have not received one?
So, as of the moment, we have roughly around 1,500 uncovered villages. However, these villages are being taken care of under the ECD project, the Early Child Development Project, where in those villages arrangements have been made for one component that is called the take-home take-home centers.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I know from the Honourable Minister if the villages that have already submitted the applications for Aganwadi centres, is it in the priority of the government for them to be provided with an Aganwadi centre?
Yes, sir. We have received a large number of applications. These are being processed, and in due course of time, they all will be covered.
Sir, may I know from the Honourable Minister, when can we expect these centres to come up, if there's any time limit or anything like that?
So, as I mentioned, at the moment, these uncovered villages are being covered by the Early Child Development Mission. However, in due course of time, the intention of the department is to ensure that all villages which fulfill the eligibility criteria will be covered by the ICDS project.
The last question, please.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, last question. We all know that Aganwadi centres have become an important part in the lives of people in the villages, and without the Aganwadi centres, it has become difficult for the villages to function when it comes to different... Aganwadi centres are not just for young newborn babies. It's in the developmental age of the child, and for education and health, it is a very important center for the villages. So can I get an assurance from the Minister that this issue will be looked into?
So, in addition to the information already provided, I would like to assure the Honourable Member as well as members of this August House that we have already moved the Ministry of Women and Child Development for total coverage of all uncovered villages, and within the next 1 to 2 years we should be in a position to set up centers wherever these villages meet the criteria required.
So, Mangnar, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
Yes.
may I know from the Honourable Minister in charge how many Aganwadi centres done by the community contribution for the repairing of minor Aganwadi centers, toilet, water supply, etc.
Can I get the question repeated, please?
See, sir, as per my knowledge, the department concerned has given instruction to the local body for the repairing of Aganwadi centers, toilets, water supplies. So, may I know from the Honorable Minister, how many Aganwadi centers done by the community contribution for the repairing of Aganwadi centers, toilets and water supplies?
So the core issue here is about the repair of these centers, and I can assure the member that within the next 1 to 2 years, we will be in a position to repair all centers that require such intervention. And meanwhile, water is also being provided under the JJM mission.
Dr. Khan,
I need more clarification regarding with regards to the community contribution. Sir, as of now, we have not received any sanction amount for the repairing of Aganwadi centers, toilet and water supply. As I have said, the department has given instruction to the local body for the repairing of Aganwadi centers. So, sir, I don't know in urban area, but sir, if you go to the rural areas, you will see and you will find the condition of Aganwadi centers, the toilet, the water supplies. So if we talk about the community contribution, especially in rural areas, who will give the contribution? Our people in rural areas are all daily wages. They cannot give the contribution for the repairing of Aganwadi center. So therefore, sir, my suggestion to the department, through you, sir, if you kindly take any step for the maintenance of Aganwadi centers, toilets, and especially for the water supplies.
Sir, I have been visiting various district headquarters in the past 3 months, and a review meeting will be taken in the month of October with all stakeholders where these centers are in existence and wherever such centers are in dilapidated conditions, we will certainly tone up their condition, and this review is being held in the month of October.
So, one more question, sir. May I know from the Honorable Minister, did the government has any intention to sanction any amount for the repairing of these Aganwadi centers? May I know from the Honorable Minister, please?
Yes, sir.
One more question, sir.
Dr. Khan.
One more, sir.
Okay, last.
Yes. As per my knowledge, sir, rice cooker has given to the Aganwadi center. But we all know that there is no electricity connection. So may I know from the Honorable Minister, what is the intention of the department?
So wherever rice cookers are being supplied and there is lack of power supply, we will look for alternative sources of energy, and that will be part of the review that will be done in a comprehensive manner in the month of October.
Dr. Kazi, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I request the Honorable Minister in charge to say whether the salaries of the Aganwadi workers are paid on regular basis and whether it is up to date.
So, in the past 3 months, wherever these salaries have been pending, they have been cleared in the early part of September.
Sir. One more question, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, most of the Aganwadi centers in West Garos district, especially Damdama and Salsala block, are in dilapidated condition. May I know from the Honorable Minister in charge what steps he is planning to upgrade these centers?
So as I indicated, we will take a comprehensive review of the conditions of all centers in the month of October, and wherever such facilities are found to be wanting, we will certainly turn up the same through the intervention of the department.
One last question, sir. What are the criteria for setting up of new Aganwadi centers? Thanks.
So these criteria would include whether they qualify as per population norms. These criteria differ from rural to urban centers, and in the case of tribal or hilly areas, the population norm is that the number of households should range between 300 to 800 households for main Aganwadi centers and 150 to 300 households for mini Aganwadi centers.
Mr. Kapran, please. Livingstone Kapran. Yes,
Now my question is.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister in charge of social welfare, out of these 14 villages on the East Cousins, 2 of them have been there, sir. This is number 8 and 9. They are very far from Shillong, far-flung villages, and very small villages. And I want assurance from the Honorable Minister to please speed up the setting up of this main Aganwadi centers. Sir, please.
So the number of uncovered villages is 1,500, and the number of applications received in East Khas Hills, the number of applications received for new main Aganwadi centers is 9, and for mini centers it is 27. All of these will be duly considered, and as I indicated, in the next 2 years we should be in a position to set up these centers.
Okay. Mr. Rupa Marak, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I know from the Honorable Minister in charge, what is the education qualification required for the post of Aganwadi workers in the Aganwadi centers?
So for the Aganwadi workers, where the number of workers is 1 in the mini centers and 2 in the main centers, the qualification is that they should be at least have completed the 10th standard.
Dr. Celestine, please.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister, as we are all informed that October there will be a review meeting, a census of all the Aganwadi centers should be taken where water supply, electricity or alternative sources of energy are in place or not. My question here is, I have visited a few centers in my constituency where there is a solar provided. But when the water level in a battery goes down, the solar does not work. So those who run the Aganwadi centers they say that it is spoiled. At least that basic knowledge should be imparted to the people who look after the Aganwadi centers. The question I want to ask here is, during my free time, I still practice as a doctor. Occasionally, I come across children brought by their parents who say that, oh, they have taken a milk powder given by the Aganwadi centers, so they are having diarrhea. Occasionally, they say, Don Ushana, Shana is given from the Aganwadi centers, the children ate it, and they are having loose motions. The issue here is, sometimes the Aganwadi center is very located at the top of the hill and the water supply is at the bottom of the hill. There is an Aganwadi and Aganwadi helper. So unless we ensure that water supply is provided to the Aganwadi centers, what is supposed to be a center for improvement of health, it becomes the opposite, a hazard for health. So may I ask the Honorable Minister, when is the government, through you, when do we expect that proper water supply will be given to all the Aganwadi centers, maybe in a year or 2 years? Because when we talk about JJM, sir, I have come across many villages in my constituency itself, JJM pipes are there, but there's no water. So hoping that JJM will provide water to the Aganwadi centers may not be a reality. So we should have our own. So may I request the Minister to at least give an assurance, maybe in 2 years' time or 3 years' time, water supply will be provided to the Aganwadi centers. That is my question. Thank you, sir.
So I'm happy to share this information with this August House that we have already cleared the appointment of 6 new CDPOs, and these will augment the effort of the department to provide the best possible service. And I can assure the House that in a phased manner, starting with the review that is going to be held in the month of October, we should be able to see substantive difference within the next 1 year. So,
Yes, Pak Lakmedra, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we know that Aganwadi play a very important role for the development of the children from the early childhood till they are grown up. But as we also know that the government of India plays a very important role how to take care of the children, and we have seen in national education policy that the integration of Aganwadi and schools is one of the priority, because the children from 3 to 6 years could be attend the schools as well as get nutrition. So I want to ask from the Honorable Minister, through you, sir, that synergization between the ICDS, social welfare, education, health is very, very important. So my question is, have the government set up any committee or any plan how to synergize these 3 departments for the welfare of the children, because they have to work hand in hand in these Aganwadi centers?
So we have, right from last year, launched a very ambitious program, the Early Child Development Program, which will ensure that we synergize the effort of not only taking care of the nutritional need of children, but also their education. And in fact, sir, this is also in line with the new National Education Policy 2020. So yes, we are proactively pursuing the ECD mission, and efforts of synergizing the nutritional and educational need of the children are being taken care of.
Yes, Mr. Shah, please. But I can only permit one more question, only because time is running out and we have so many other questions.
Thank you, sir. So my question is, with the increased load post-COVID, placed on the shoulders of the Aganwadi workers, there was a demand, especially in my constituency, from the Aganwadi workers to provide them with proper, more smart mobile phones so they could record the different cases very easily. Is the department considering to provide good mobile phones to the workers so that their work and workload can be done more easily?
Yes, sir. We will be shortly floating an EOI for the supply of educational kits to these centers, and at the moment some of these centers have already been provided with smart mobile phones.